The Greatest Show on Earth, The Evidence for Evolution, by Richard Dawkins. Read by Richard Dawkins
and Lalla Ward.
Preface. The evidence for evolution grows by the day and has never been stronger. At the same time, paradoxically, ill-informed opposition is also stronger than I can remember. This book is my personal summary of the evidence that the theory of evolution is actually a fact, as incontrovertible a fact as any in science. It is not the first book I've written about evolution, and I need to explain what's different about it. It could be described as my missing link. The selfish gene and the extended phenotype offered an unfamiliar vision of the familiar theory of natural selection, but they didn't discuss the evidence for evolution itself. My next three books, in their different ways, sought to identify and dissolve the main barriers to understanding. These books, The Blind Watchmaker, River Out of Eden, and, my favourite of the three, Climbing Mount Improbable, answered questions like, what is the use of half an eye? What is the use of half a wing? How can natural selection work, given that most mutations have negative effects? Once again, however, these three books, although they cleared away stumbling blocks, did not present the actual evidence that evolution is a fact. My largest book, The Ancestor's Tale, laid out the full course of the history of life as a sort of ancestor-seeking Chaucerian pilgrimage going backwards in time, but it again assumed that evolution is true. Looking back on those books, I realized that the evidence for evolution itself was nowhere explicitly set out, and that this was a serious gap that I needed to close. The year 2009 seemed like a good time, it being the bicentennial year of Darwin's birth and the 150th anniversary of On the Origin of Species. Not surprisingly, the same thought occurred to others, and the year has seen some excellent volumes, most notably Jerry Coyne's Why Evolution is True. My highly favourable review of his book in the Times Literary Supplement is reproduced at richarddawkins.net. The working title under which the visionary and indefatigable John Brockman, my literary agent, offered my book to publishers was Only a Theory. It later turned out that Kenneth Miller had already preempted that title for his book-length response to one of those remarkable courtroom trials by which scientific syllabuses are occasionally decided, a trial in which he played a heroic part. In any case, I had always doubted the title's suitability for my book, and I was ready to shelve it.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?